Maybe you know Uniqlo, maybe you know Wabi Sabi, but this is the real Japan. I moved to Japan about a month ago, and I didn't move to a city, I moved to the countryside. And a big part of the countryside in Japan is exactly this kind of car. You will see it almost nowhere else in the world, at least I haven't seen it before. But in Japan, it's so normal. Everyone is driving that kind of car. And in this video, I want to take you on a little ride with one of the most beautiful and amazing cars I've ever driven. Turn left. So actually there are so many things that I want to talk about, so I don't really know where to start. But I think while being on this ride, there will be enough things to talk about. So we will be driving to the next village.
Daigo.
So I wanted to be not only a visitor in Japan, I wanted to be part of the country. I wanted to adapt to the people. So driving a car like this is one way to adapt to Japan, at least in my mind. Anyways, when coming to Japan and riding the first time in my wife's father's car, which is this beautiful Kitra, I realized it is incredibly convenient and actually pretty comfortable. On the used market, you can get a car like this for maybe $2,000-3,000 or euros. And it will run. It will run for a long time. It doesn't have a huge engine, but it's enough to go steep mountain roads like this. First, when I saw this kind of car, I thought it looks a bit weird, to be honest, and very unusual. But when actually using it for a few days and driving, I realized that it's not only about the look, it's actually about the feeling. And the feeling is incredible. There is not a huge amount of space in here, and the tires are also pretty small. And you can feel the bumps and you can feel the corners. And I think that is one point why it is actually so amazing. And that is why I like it so much. You can actually feel that you are moving forward. In some of the modern cars, you will be driving fast and you don't really even feel it. And here, even when you're 50, you feel like, wait, that's enough, actually. So, I like that. It slows down life. No? You have a radio, you have an air conditioner, you have windows, very good view. So I'm driving in third gear, 35 kilometers per hour. Absolutely enough. If you compare that to walking, it is really fast. So if you have one of the smaller phones, I'm not actually sure if that is supposed to be a phone holder here, or if that is just for coins or something. But you can put the phone here, and you can have navigation. Amazing! Drone time. What a great car! There are a few points that I wanted to mention. I don't know if I should mention the cheap registration.
うん。
Well, so this car is not only very cute, the Ketra is something that people can use in an everyday scenario. If you go to the mountains like we do now, or if you just go shopping, it is a perfect car. What's that in English? Spring water. We passed the spring water already, so we refilled our bottles, we refilled our stomachs with water, and now we're gonna keep going back home. Of course, every car has its plus and minus, and maybe you wouldn't go 500 kilometers on a highway with it, but it has its purpose. And I think for the countryside, and especially the Japanese countryside, this car is perfect. I'm 1 meter 85, 87, and you might think that this is really hard for me and uncomfortable, but it actually is not. Still have space on the head. I can move around. I have enough space here. It's pretty nice, yeah? And what else we have? We have a cigar socket where we can put a thing like that and charge our phone. We have a little space where we can put some documents. Of course, we have a space for a little drink. Maybe we go to 7-Eleven and we buy something to drink. We have electric windows, which now don't work, but they work. A remote lock, is that how to say that? Remote lock. We have some handlebars here when it gets shaky. We don't have a mirror here, because we don't need a mirror in the countryside. But we are protected from the sun. It's pretty cool. You can put the Japanese ETC card in here, which means you can use the highways. What else is there? There's a rope in here. That rope,
必要これ。
that rope you can use
あ、
You
そう。
put lots
こ
of
こね。
on the back. Then there is a screen in here. That screen is a bit broken right now. But at nighttime it works. And this is also very like a Japanese thing. Almost all the cars have that one, which is not so common in Germany, I think. We don't use them so often,
確かに。
which is really nice. When it's raining, you can leave the window a little bit open. And these mirrors are amazing. I've just realized it now. How nice is that?
確かに。
I didn't know that. The car actually doesn't need much fuel, which is really nice. It has a small engine, which is strong enough to get you up some high mountains and through the forests of Japan. But it doesn't use much fuel. It's a light car, small engine. Lasts a long time. I could talk on and on about how nice this car is and how many good points it has. But this video is not for selling you this car, but it's more about showing you the minimalist and uniqueness of Japanese engineering and Japanese life. This car shows how simple but how beautiful it could be to just live in the countryside. So maybe it's not about which car you drive, but what can you do with that car and how do you feel while driving? I realized in Japan that it's not about how cool I look or what other people think about me, but how I feel and what I can actually do with a great car like that. All I need is a Ketra.
すんごくいい。ちょっと待って。前、ハンドをそうちょっと疲れちゃった。
じゃあね。